Today's logistics, every second counts, and so does every customer. Meet Swifter by ElasticRun, a plug-and-play quick commerce network that powers 2-hour and same-day delivery for D2C brands. Directly from your own website. How does it work? Just drop your inventory at our local dark stores at a set frequency and let us take care of the sorting, packing, and delivery. Optimized with our in-house battle-tested technology to hit your delivery windows just in time. Make the right promise to your customer and enable instant gratification right from click to doorstep. With Swifter, your brand gets fast access to new markets and more repeat buyers. You keep direct customer relationships and elevate customer satisfaction, all with very low capital investment. Swifter network is already operational in major cities and we're expanding to more locations soon. Join the Swifter network today.
I'm Sandeep. I'm co-founder, CEO for ElasticRun. Just give us a couple of minutes, couple of seconds. I think we are struggling with a mic. Once we have it, we'll start. Okay. Hello, folks. So I come from ElasticRun, and last year we launched one of our offering that's white label quick commerce fulfillment platform called Swifter. And I'll give you some of the learnings from what we have seen from running some of the largest e-commerce fulfillment channels of the country. As some of you might know, ElasticRun carries one of the largest volumes of shipments in Indian e-commerce industry. You pick up any of the large e-commerce player, and we probably will be their largest partner in India in terms of carrying shipments, in terms of their technology, so on and so forth. We picked up those learning from over 8 years of running the e-commerce logistics operations and blended that into our learning onto the quick commerce world. And we were trying to solve a problem that how can we convert almost any brand into a quick commerce direct to consumer brand. And I hope we have some evidences of that coming in, right? So as some of you are aware, over last 18 months or so, the consumer preference has suddenly changed. With the advent of quick commerce coming in, I think the expectation is that everything needs to be available in 10 minutes now, if not faster than that. And this journey, this actually caught the industry by surprise. If you follow the trends of, say, the early 2012, 2013, when Amazon started in India, speed was one of the products that was sold by the e-commerce companies. And one of the advertisements that was going on TV was fastest delivery. A baller comes running and shows a ball and says fastest delivery. And that was the advertisement of 2 days delivery. And the idea that time was that we are disrupting the industry that is used for a 10 days, 14 days, or maybe even 4 days delivery window, bringing it down to 2 days. So that 14 days to 2 days took very long time. That 2 days became 1 day after say, close to 5 odd years. But if you track it for the last 18 odd months, suddenly everything has gone into 10 minutes. And it's not 10 minutes that is a challenge. The consumer now has benchmark in their mind that everything needs to be available in 10 minutes. And it's not only the grocery that needs to be available in 10 minutes. Now, the expectation is even the furniture should be available in 10 minutes. Even the household help that is coming in, that is expected in 10 minutes now. Of course, fashion is expected in 10 minutes. So while the consumer expectations have moved, brands need to move their entire supply chain, which is a physical world to move. And these two do not necessarily go hand in hand. I mean, consumer preference can move very fast and supply chain will take its own time. So what's the solution? How do we go about it, right? And how is that ultimately manifesting? So if you look at last year, a typical D2C brand would have to compete on 2 or 3 large marketplaces, and they will have their own D2C channel, and they have to manage the consumer expectation on itself. Now, a full breadth of quick commerce got added to that. And that breadth of quick commerce comes with 3 or 4 players coming in. What that means is earlier I had to manage my expectation on two marketplaces on my one D2C channel. My inventory was limited to those 3 channels. But now suddenly I have 3 more quick commerce players coming in, and my inventory now is splintered into 7 more places. At the same time, I have my offline channel, which is another storage of inventory. So for serving the same customer, I have to maintain 7 to 8 storage of inventory at any storage points at any point of time. And you may have heard one of the panelists in the earlier discussion talked about universally available inventory. The more splintered inventory you have, the long tail of inventory will be there, and then the consumer availability keeps dipping down with addition of each channel, right? What this means is, and also, because now we are going into the quick commerce world of 2-hour delivery, 10-minute delivery, or same-day delivery, that means the inventory also needs to be placed right next to the customer. In the erstwhile world, say minus 24 months world, you would have seen the supply chains mapped something like this on the left-hand side, wherein 4 or 5 cities will have large storages of inventory in the fulfillment centers. From there, the trucks will run. After the consumer places the order, shipments will move through mid-mile, going into the destination city of the customer. There will be some last-mile activity going to the customer, and then the shipment will get delivered. So the brand had to manage 3 stores of inventory in 4 cities. There are 12 combinations possible, required. Now, because every customer is expecting in the same day, eventually you are looking at 50-odd cities holding your inventory. And then there are 8 channels. You're looking at 400 different possible combinations of inventory placement closer to customer. How does one manage it? I mean, just imagine someone who's running 400 SKUs, and if you have to maintain 400 instances of those 400 SKUs, the numbers are just mind-boggling. And eventually what matters is when the customer is ready to order in that particular town, that particular SKU, will it be available there on time? Otherwise, you lost the customer. And this is a very deep supply chain problem. I mean, what we are seeing today is only the advent of quick com. The problem is just starting. The problem will really get exaggerated when we are looking at fully developed models into top 50 or top 100 cities of the country. And this needs very, very specific, dedicated execution engines to handle this kind of supply chain problems, right? And I think we covered some of these points already, that the problem gets multiplied when you look at the top 50 cities and 7, 8 different channels. Add to that your own existing offline channels. They also need to get supplied. And how do we manage all of that solution, right? That is when we thought about the concept of Swifter. We already had large fulfillment center, we had mid-mile lanes, we have last-mile delivery engines. But most of them are running on very high volumes, so they kind of become dedicated to large players. But that does not necessarily solve the problem of D2C brands which are taking off now and eventually build on their volumes. Or even if there are volumes in each of the city, the volumes are not large enough to run your own networks, right? So that's where we said, let's build a network of shared fulfillment networks across the length and breadth of the country. We offer a place for the brands to maintain their single source of inventory in each of the cities. So in those 50 cities, you maintain 50 sets of inventories, and from those, one set of inventory for that particular city, we service all channels. So if you may be selling on your own website, it can get fulfilled from the same warehouse. You may be selling it on marketplaces, it gets fulfilled from there. You may be supplying it to your quick commerce players, it will get fulfilled there. And you may also have your offline players, your offline distributors, they will also get supplied from there. What that means is you substantially cut down the problem of splintering inventory across hundreds of places or thousands of places to bringing it down to a very small finite set. And this set does not just comes with the physical fulfillment. Of course, it is backed by our own S&OP engines that we have, the sales operations planning engine that we have built over almost last decade, that essentially tells the brand, based on your past history, which location, what SKU you should place so that your availability of your brands is maximized for the customer, your loss of sales because of lack of inventory is lowest. At the same time, your working capital will be at the most optimal stages when you go onto this channel. Right, and essentially it is a one single shop for one single solution for managing your entire inventory. I think again, from previous conversation, someone mentioned the word universal availability. I think this is the universal availability solution that you keep it at one location and then it solves for all of your channels. Right? And while we build a physical engine, we also step back and build it as one full product. When I say what's the difference between a physical fulfillment and the product? If I tell you to take your inventory and ship it to 50 different locations, host it there, and if you have some extra inventory, you please take it back and then we manage your order fulfillment, it would have been a tough problem for the brands. They would have to maintain a fairly high-end supply chain team to manage that. So we abstract all those problems. We said, okay, let's build a tech product on top of our warehousing, our fulfillment channels, such that the brand need not do anything. They should have an option to plug into the network. Once you plug into the network, you get the forecast for all the sales that you are going to do. And on top of that, we give you a single plug-in physical plug, such that once you hand over inventory to us in one location, from that point onward, your entire fulfillment for the full country is taken care of across channels. So let's say you have your national warehousing in Mumbai, you host your inventory there. Once we do our full planning, we can take over the inventory from you in the city of Mumbai. From that point onward, what inventory, where to place, how to park, how do we reach to the last end of the customer, and which channels we should service, we handle all of that. That is completely abstracted from the brand. And the brand gets to focus only on managing their brand, managing their customer, and then the entire fulfillment part of it is taken care of by us. And it's just not that one time. Because we keep optimizing these engines and we have data coming in from so many brands, we would be able to guide the brands in what's happening in each of the individual particular market. Your data may be saying that you should host this particular SKUs in these XYZ cities, but we may be able to give you inputs that how the curation is actually happening on the ground in terms of adjacency of your brands. You may be a clothing brand. I mean, here we had two gentlemen in the previous discussion. One was focused on female clothing, one was focused on male clothing. But there are several underlying patterns of consumption into a particular market. We have that data consumption pattern, and we should be able to help them on those patterns, right? So having said that, from that concept perspective, if I had to come, where does the rubber meet the road? I mean, where do we operate? So the first and foremost pitch that I would like to make is to all the consumer brands here who are selling on any of the marketplaces today, or on their own websites, or on any of the quick commerce platform. If you can latch into us, we provide you 2-hour delivery to top 50 cities in the country, and that network will keep growing to top 100 cities. In all those 2 hours, all the cities that you light up on our network, you'll have same-day delivery options. And these are all dark stores owned by us. We run them. Today, across country, we have 950 plus dark stores running for different purposes. 2 hour is enabled to a large number of dark store out of that. Eventually, all of them will offer those 2-hour deliveries. Same-day delivery is available in almost everywhere. And I think one of the most exciting product that we launched last couple of weeks ago is same-day returns. Same-day returns and next-day inventorizing. What that means is your customer could be anywhere in the country. Once they place the request until a cutoff time, let's say 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., your product will get picked up on the same day. That gives a great comfort to customer in terms of their refund coming back, and it gives a great comfort to the brand in terms of they having control on their inventory again. This is another factor that I think that the network will be very useful for the brands, right? I think the second biggest use case that we can solve is there are several offline brands today who may have a website, but not necessarily a D2C brand. They are not directly engaged with the customer because there are several fulfillment layers one needs to build, right? If you look at Swifter, it's an encapsulated product that has the entire fulfillment layer for a D2C brand. So if you are an offline brand or let's say a furniture brand or white goods brand who would want to reach out to your consumers directly, you can continue to sell through the marketplaces, you can continue to sell through your offline channel. But if you would want to build up your sales on your own website, reaching directly to your consumers and give a super premium experience in terms of, say, you're a white goods manufacturer, you can get your product delivered in 2 hours to a customer in top 50 cities and get it installed in first 4 hours. It will be a fantastic experience. And that channel probably would overtake every other channel, at least in terms of experience that you deliver to your customer. I think all of those pieces are already inbuilt into the product. We are, until last month or so, we had not focused on targeting the offline brands and converting them into D2C brand, but I think that sales stream, that GTM stream that we have started, and I see this as a next big opportunity, that all the brands who would want to develop their own websites as the primary sales channel should be able to leverage this channel, right? And I think the third one is a very upcoming, but I think very, very promising use case that we are looking at. You might have seen some of the videos on the agentic checkouts, right? Someone in US, you can go to Perplexity today and type on your chatbot asking for a particular product, and that products get delivered to you. What does that kind of agentic shopping needs? The agentic shopping needs two things. It needs your website to be agentic ready, that if an agent, let's say you are talking of a refrigerator. If a consumer types that I want a 265-liter fridge to be delivered at my address, the system would know what is the destination, the system would know what are the origin possibilities. So a particular refrigerator brand's website would have to be agent-friendly to know all of these details, that what the consumer is pulling it up. So that bot needs to be developed. We have that bot ready. And the second bot that needs to be ready is an agentic framework needs to map out your national inventory. It needs to know exactly in what cities, what SKU you are maintaining, and how can we get that product available to a particular customer. Once you have these two bots ready, you can actually test it out. You can become an agentic brand tomorrow. I don't know when the future arrives, but that's definitely coming in. We should be releasing soon a video wherein someone writes that, please get me a biscuit at my current address. So wherever your office, and the system knows your preferences. The typical ChatGPT or Perplexity, they would know what kind of biscuit you eat, what kind of flavor that you like, what is the time of the day, and what is the availability around you. The detail your prompt is, the finer will be the selection, but you will get the biscuit in 2 hours' time. I think it's mind-boggling. If you see the video, it gets a little crazy at times to look at that. But from an availability perspective, from a tech prep perspective, I think we have all the pieces in place, and we should start rolling it out for some of the brands who have mature inventory locations with us now. And I hope at some point of time it takes off. But when it takes off, I see that as another pivotal point. What quick commerce did to e-commerce, agentic commerce might end up doing that to quick commerce. I don't know how the front ends will look in that case, but what we know is, howsoever the front end looks, we control the back end. We have the capability to run the back end for agentic commerce, and it is there. It is ready now. So I really look forward to those changes, right? And there are several case studies for the brand that we have done this. I think Healthcard is a great example where we started. We have some of the great sales metrics in terms of retention, in terms of sales growth, in terms of reduction in returns and rejects from the consumer side, and it'll keep on build on, right? Apart from that, while we work with some of the largest e-commerce player, I think there are several D2C brands that we are working with us across the country, and this network is growing as we continue to talk. Okay, I think that's all from our side, and we look forward to engaging with each one of you if you would like to know further about Swifter and engage from there. Which industry? Jewelry industry. We can certainly talk about that. I will have to figure out the risk management of it, but yes, from a supply chain perspective, we have the capabilities.
All right, let's give Sandeep a big round of applause for that absolutely wonderful presentation.